Can you believe how Erika Kirk and TPUSA, in 131 days, roughly, since Charlie was dispatched, killed, removed, in 131 days, can you believe how they have screwed up everything? I mean, let me rephrase this. If we went back in time, okay, at the time that this happened, and I said, okay, I want you, this is a weird thought experiment, but I want you to go back in time, and I want you to control what happens with Erika or TPUSA or the reactions. I want you to screw it up as much as you possibly can. I want you to take Charlie's legacy and destroy it. The advances, the successes of TPUSA, destroy it. The reputations, the names, destroy it. The fundraisers, destroy it. The donors, destroy it. Take her image, destroy it, and turn her into from this kind of an interesting, loving mother to this laughingstock, maybe a spook, maybe, who knows? This step for what? I expect her just to pull the mask down and there's these gears or something. What is this? You could not have gone back in time and screwed up more than what they've done every single day. She should have just gone away. Forget it. But since she was doing this and the dancing and the whole bit, now everybody's coming out and now they're threatening YouTubers. Look. What happened with TPUSA and Erika Kirk was not just one mistake. It wasn't just one thing. It was a chain reaction. It was a like an implosion. It was this cosmic, this slumgullion of errata. One decision caused another problem, then another, and then another, and then another. It was like boneheaded move caused boneheaded move, and all unforced errors. And the sad part is that it didn't have to happen. It could have been avoided. The first big mistake was treating the internet like a courtroom. Listen to me. It's your Uncle Lenny talking here. Online, you don't win by sending lawyers after people. Not with this crew. You win by explaining your side clearly and calmly. And the moment legal threats appear, that's it. The story changes. It's over. It stops being about facts and starts becoming about power. And you start looking guilty of something. Again, you cause attention. People begin asking, who's trying to silence whom? That turned to... They turned to creator. They keep saying a small creator. Wolves of finance. This is not a small creator by any stretch of the imagination. But now he's a hero. He's a hero. He's Joan of Arc. He's Rosa Parks. He's Ellen Brockovich. He's whatever it is. I mean, he is it. They created this, and other creators are jumping in. And in our little ecosystem, I hate that word. We jump in. What you do to one of us, what you do to the least of my brethren, you do to us all. There was a guy named JC who said something like that. And now they're coming out of the woodwork. Everybody's talking about it because they can't believe it. And you can tell by his reaction, he's almost apologetic, almost scared. You can hear it in his voice. Well, let me tell you something. You've got the entire world now knowing who you are. And don't be surprised if somebody says, okay, somebody may donate some pretty serious legal services because whenever you have litigation, guess what you have is this thing called discovery. And that means that if there is an issue, if there is an issue that is placed in issue, a fact, allegations regarding financial shenanigans or whatever, guess what you're entitled to with depositions and the like? All of the records. Whatever. I hope you're happy with this. If it goes that far, my advice, stop it. Leave this site alone. Go home. Use the fact that America has the attention span of a gnat to your favor. Social media push the drama. What could have stayed small suddenly became a huge public fight. That's all people are talking about. And the second mistake was not understanding who they were dealing with. Wolves in Finance's YouTube creator is not like a newspaper reporter. He doesn't follow the same rules. He's more like a loudspeaker. And when you attack him, you don't make him quieter. You make him louder and more powerful. TPUSA walked right into that trap. They didn't have to. They did it, at least ostensibly. Back off. And then came something called the Streisand Effect. You know that. This is when someone tries to hide or stop information and accidentally makes more people see it. It's named after, Babs Streisand. Remember when she tried to remove a photo of her house from the internet? Well, before the lawsuit, almost nobody saw the photo, knew about it. But after the lawsuit, millions did, including where she lives, what she has, and the whole bit. So the same thing happened here. Before legal action, only a few people were talking about it. After it, curiosity exploded. People started asking why leaders wanted something taken down, and even weak rumors felt stronger because the response looked defensive. Now add emotions to the situation, and it blows up. This was happening after a political killing. That made people more sensitive, more suspicious, and more reactive. When official messages were slow or confusing, people kind of filled in the blanks themselves. Screenshots spread, timelines were argued about. Every small detail became a big deal. Another mistake was turning leadership change into a show instead of a calm, secretive process. When a movement loses its main leader, the new leader needs to look steady and humble and qualified and not trying to grab the limelight with lame dresses and, the usual story. And this lacrimating, LARPish, overdone Tammy Faye Baker routine. I'm sorry. We're past that. When things feel rushed or dramatic, people get nervous. And it starts to look like branding instead of responsibility. And they also mix personal grief with business decisions. See, that's understandable emotionally. But publicly, it causes big problems. See, people begin to think decisions are being made for emotional or selfish reasons. The safer approach is boring professionalism. That didn't happen. Once donors started worrying and asking for refunds, the situation got much worse. And now the story was not just about rumors. It's become about trust. And every single day, Candace says, I've got more screenshots. And there are other people who are going to be coming forward on the QT, maybe their own whistleblowers, who are going to deluge stuff. TPUSA, what are they doing? What are they doing? This wasn't necessary. And when people lose trust, everything becomes harder to control. Another mistake was using technical language instead of being fully open. Saying things like, well, we filed paperwork on that, or we had not audits, but efforts, or whatever the particular phrase was. It might be true, I'm sure it is, but it doesn't make people feel claimed. Look, let me explain something. I've never claimed there was any kind of fraud because I don't know anything about it. I haven't been studying this. I'm reacting to what's in the news. It's not my thing. I've never done an independent deep dive audit of TPUSA. I know the first thing about it. But that's not the point. It's not what you know, it's how do you feel. And what does it look like? See, when trust is low, people want proof and documents, and they want clear answers. They also, treated this like a normal media problem. It was not. It was a crisis. It was a crisis about leadership and credibility, and acting like it was just another news cycle made them look disconnected, even more clueless and more shady. I don't know what's worse, guilty or shady. When big news organizations got involved, control was already gone. Trying to use official letters to prove innocence or whatever, I don't know what it created new suspicion. Some people started asking why responses came so fast, and that created even more rumors. Old stories also come back. Oh my God. In the past week, don't you know more about Erika Kirk than you ever did? Whose fault is that? By the way, I hate to break it to you. This isn't something you want people to know about. Well, you said this, but you said this. What about the boyfriend? About this? What about China? What about? I said, wait a minute. And then there's Forwachuka. And then November Renaissance. My God, everybody, the whole base was. You know how that works. Remember the old days CIA would have on this website. If you're making a movie or a film, you could use CIA facilities to actually use it as a basis for movies and the like. They would actually help. But anyway, you see, when attention rises, people search the past. Old reports, old controversies, old boyfriends, old husbands, old this, old children, and old mistakes get reused. And everything gets mixed together into one big blob story, even if it doesn't fully connect. Then the internet shifted focus from money to personal life. People started digging into background details. Where did this person work? Who did they know? What projects were they part of? This happens every time attention grows. Because lawyers were involved, people felt allowed to dig even deeper. And like I said, you don't want litigation because that's discovery and you don't want that. Why do you want to do this? It's one thing if you're going to sue, Elon Musk, but if you're going to sue him, with all due respect to Mr. Wolves in Finance, what are you kidding me? But again, there's been no threat. There's been insinuations of something legal. It's done enough to scare him. So for the record, nobody's actually sued or anything. And I think if you're wise, go away. They'll forget about this. They'll talk about Minnesota, or they'll talk about Greenland or something else. But you keep this alive. And every time it goes on, there's people, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if people are calling Candace up all the time saying, I've got screenshots, you're like a million deep throats. By the way, deep throats with Alexander Haig, that's a different story. Now, old photos and old videos always are resurfacing. Small details become big headlines. Normal things started to begin treated as suspicious. And regular career moves are called secret plans. And creative projects were treated like hidden messages. Look, I know it sounds silly. I know. But it spreads because people like dramatic stories. They also fail to give one clear official biography and timeline, and that's it. They just botched it. And when leaders don't provide a clean story, the internet creates its own version using guesses and screenshots and people filling in. And all you have to do is, I swear to you, Erika, not that it matters, if you went 1 week, if you went radio silent for 1 week, same thing for TPUSA, that might be enough. It loses its oomph when you're not there every day talking about it. And when you go after a YouTuber for whatever reason, this also inures to her benefit because they're doing, this is like the Brigitte Macron thing. I say, what is with you people? You go after her, you go after this guy. Is it true or is it not? Don't let me get started with that one. That's a very complicated issue, and we'll talk about that later. But another mistake I want you to know about was misunderstanding their own supporters. Their audience is naturally skeptical. They don't trust polished statements. Legal threats look like trying to control the story instead of telling the truth. And they treated serious accusations and silly rumors the same way. See, that made everything seem important, even things that weren't. And they also turned a YouTuber like Wolves in Finance into a national symbol. The story became about power and censorship and money, and not just about one person. And people then started asking, why is this happening now? Why this moment? Why this person? When leaders don't answer clearly, people make up their own answers. And there's also been a brand problem. TPUSA promotes being young and rebellious and anti-establishment and this and that. But using what appears to be as being portrayed today legal threats, it doesn't match the image. That's not the way you act. When actions don't match the brand, people feel lied to. Never lose sight of your brand. Personal gossip followed soon after, and once attention grows, people move from business issues to personal life. And some of it's unfair, some of it's silly, but it happens when leaders choose to escalate. The biggest lesson is this. In today's world where we live in right now, public figures get analyzed deeply and quickly, and everything Everything online gets saved and shared. The only real protection is calm behavior, honesty, restraint. Instead, they choose to fight publicly. That didn't make the problem smaller. It made it bigger. Silence can be smart. It is smart. Calm professionalism will work. Being open is better than threatening people. And also let it go away. They've got amnesia. They're going to forget about it. If leaders had stayed quiet early, shared clear financial information if they had to, avoided legal threats or the appearance of threats, and focused on steady leadership, most of the strange side stories would never have materialized, never have grown. Instead, they made people more curious. And when you make these people serious, it's like stepping on an anthill, like fire ants in the South. It's just one little ant. When you get 1,000 of them crawling over your foot, it'll kill you. And don't forget, the internet also rewards curiosity with attention. See, once attention explodes, you can't take it back. See, that's the real damage. Not just headlines, not just rumors, but losing control of the story. And when that happens, the story controls you instead. So let me tell you something. You're going to see them one day perhaps watch this or study this in Harvard Business School or whatever. You're going to see crisis management, how not to do this. Remember what your story is. You had the perfect cover. This was a woman who lost her husband because she did. And people were very careful and very generous and very, very protective of her. Not now, too soon. But she never gave you the chance to grieve. She never gave you the chance. She jumped into it. And right off the bat, you said, there's something wrong with this. And you're right. My friends, thank you for your thoughts and comments. You have been terrific. Your stuff, it is, oh my God. Go to the comment section. Read them. I always put up 5 questions for you to kind of help you out, kind of set the tone. I love your take on this. We will continue. Thank you very much. Please like this video. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Please subscribe. You must subscribe. You gotta subscribe. It's our HOV. It's our metrics to wherever we're going, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know what that means, but in any event, thank you. And be honest with me, you love this stuff, right? You love it. There's so much depth to it. If these people are shut up, story would probably be over with. What are you going to say? 130, we're not even talking about Charlie anymore, which is sad. Or who really dispatched him. But we will, and we shall. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kindness. For you and what you show my wife at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube as we fight the fight against human trafficking and child predation. Biggest issue there is. Until then, my friend, I ask you to comment. Oh, yeah, as you see fit.